Welcome back. I'm Roger Carlson. I'm a travel agent with Talio Vacations, and I'm with Bruce Waters, one of our great partners here. Bruce is representing Cruise and Maritime Voyages, so glad to have you here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Always fun to be on TV.
Oh yes, it certainly is. What is Cruise and Maritime Voyages, and what are you really representing here for?
So Cruise Maritime Voyages is a cruise line. They sail from England, so it's a company that offers two beautiful ships, and really the ships, I think, are their claim to fame for the most part because they have ships that are famous and well-known amongst the travel agent community as well as the consumer, the passenger. They own two ships called the Marco Polo, which is a beautiful vessel, carries 800 people, and also a ship called the Countess, which is another 800-passenger vessel and gorgeous. So two beautiful vessels.
So these ships don't have 3,000 or 4,000 people running around. These are kind of small ships where you can get to know everybody, or quite a few people on the...
Well, very true. And in fact, I think many of our passengers, folks that typically travel with us, are people that have chosen us because of the smaller size, because today's cruise industry ships are, generally speaking, between 2,000 and 5,000 passengers. We carry 800. So of course it offers more of an intimate atmosphere, fewer passengers, shorter lines, and hopefully better service and great itineraries that we can certainly offer.
Yeah, I suppose you can service your itineraries a lot better with less people there. And what are some of the places where the people can stop off? And
Well, it's exciting because with smaller vessels like this, one of the big features of a product like ours is we do have the opportunity to offer ports that are very unique to the cruise industry. And in fact, our particular programs typically cater around offering the British Isles. So because we sail from England, we offer naturally a very heavy British Isles program. And then we also offer Northern Europe, which is really just right across the English Channel. So it's our neighbor to the north. So we're able to offer some exciting Northern Europe itineraries, but offering ports along the way that are very exotic and very unusual because most big ships, the bigger ships that carry 3,000 to 5,000 people, typically cannot go visit these smaller ports of call where we can. So it becomes a real nice feature for our passengers.
I think Northern Europe right now, as I understand, is a hot place to go.
Well, it is, because when you kind of look at Northern Europe, it's a combination of a variety of wonderful destinations, including, of course, the Netherlands and Belgium, but then their neighbor to the north would be Norway, and in our case, sailing the Norwegian fjords, which is magnificent. And then one of the most popular destinations right now in Northern Europe is the Baltics and Russia. And we offer some wonderful 10 through 12 night sailings up to the Baltics and Russia, including a couple of nights in St. Petersburg, Russia. So it's a fascinating itinerary, and then we can take our folks a little farther north and see places like sail inside the Arctic Circle and see, of course, the Northern Lights, which is magnificent in February and March. Very, very interesting itineraries.
That's really great.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd like to go on that trip.
It's a nice one. I'll tell you, it's a lot. It's very popular for a lot of folks that have sailed a lot. They've done bigger ships. They've sailed a variety of destinations, and they now want to try something a bit smaller, a bit more intimate with a 800-passenger vessel, and see some new ports along the way.
Well, if they're not visiting a port or something like that, what else is there to do on these smaller ships?
Cruising is really a wonderful vacation because, you know, once you arrive at the ship that day, you, of course, unpack. It becomes your floating hotel for the next 7, 9, 10, 12 days. And you're with us for the next week and a half, seeing these wonderful ports, being at sea maybe for a day or two in between, having all the activities on board ship, our nightly shows, the big events on board ship. Really a lot of fun. So we keep the passengers very entertained, very busy, or as busy as they want to be while they're sailing with us, and then of course enjoying the ports along the way.
Well, that's great.
That's nice.
Do they have the usual gambling and all the casino?
Well, we do actually. One of our ships, the Rd Countess, she has a small casino. The Marco Polo does not actually. And one of the features that both ships offer, because we're sailing to some typically very exotic itineraries, we have lecturers on board ship that are really kind of there to introduce our passengers to these destinations. So the passengers are getting the opportunity to learn a lot more about these destinations by joining us at these conversations with our lecturers.
Well, one of the things I think that concerns the passengers, though, is on a smaller boat is the cabin size and that stuff. What kind of cabins do they have on this smaller boat?
Cabins are nice. We actually feature three, of course, kinds of cabins. We have inside cabins, the ocean view, which means we have windows, and then, of course, the suites. So we can offer three kinds of cabins on board ship. You know, if you want to live large and enjoy a big suite, we naturally have the big suites, and they're wonderful. Very, very nice size
That's
cabins.
great. That's great that they have a choice of what they can have.
They sure do.
I read about this one cruise you have that's like 42 days long. That's
Yeah, this is actually my favorite. In my 30 years of selling cruises, I have to admit I've never seen anything quite like this one. It's very unusual, very exotic, and a lot of fun. So picture this in January. Every January, the Marco Polo, which carries 800 people, she sails from England on a 42-day cruise headed south all the way to the Amazon and back up to England. So you just kind of picture in your mind where this might be sailing. She's, of course, sailing from England down the coast of Europe, then transiting down the coast of Africa, transatlantic into the Caribbean, makes her way into Manaus deep in the Amazon, and then back up, seeing new ports of call along the way. So it's a fascinating cruise, and the prices start at about $4,300 per person for a 42-day sailing. So the rates are magnificent, and the itinerary is world class.
That certainly is great, $4,300 to go 42 days.
It's incredible.
Oh,
It's a wonderful experience all the way around. The price, the itinerary, and of course the ship itself.
What kind of mixture of people do you get on this? I suppose Europeans, but are there many Americans or Canadians?
Well, there actually is. Our ships are English speaking only, which is an interesting feature for the, folks from the United States, because the passengers sailing with you will be English speaking, which means that we're not listing the 3, 4, and 5 languages throughout our European cruise. It's English only, because our passenger mix is typically the United States, North America, and the folks from the UK. So they make up the bulk of our passengers.
So it is English speaking, so you don't have to worry about learning a foreign language to go on these.
That's exactly right. You don't have to learn a foreign language or sit through and hear 4 or 5 languages being spoken throughout the various announcements or the lifeboat drill. English only.
Well, if somebody's interested in one of these cruises, who should they contact?
We recommend you contact our good friends at Tally Ho Vacations. We know them well. They support our products well. They love us. Feel free to contact Debbie and the folks at Tally Ho. They're happy to help out and make your reservations for you, answer questions, and travel with us.
Oh, great. And we do have a phone number everybody wants to call. That's 352-860-2805.
Perfect.
Well, great. I think that really sounds like a great way to cruise, these small ships like that. Anyway, Bruce, it's great having you with us
My
here.
My pleasure.
Hey, and I would hope people out there recognize that these small ships are a great way to cruise rather than some of the larger ships that we have. So.
And they are.
Anyway, thank you, Bruce.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. I enjoyed this. A lot of fun.
Folks out there, please stay on here, and we'll have the next segment in a couple minutes after a commercial.